Hello friends, I am Dr. Ashish Agrawal, your course coordinator for course production management. Today we are going to study various aspects of facility layout. The objective of today's session is to study about facility layout, factors affecting the location decision, various methods used for evaluation of location alternatives, factor influencing the selection of layout, various types of layout, arrangement of facilities within department, and material handling objective and the equipment used in material handling. Now the question comes, what is facility planning? Facility planning is an exercise which determines how an activity's tangible fixed asset best support to achieve the activity's objective. For example, if I am talking about a theater or in a cinema hall, then how the different tangible assets can be put together so that the customer or the person who is coming to see the movie should feel a comfort. That is the objective of a facility planning. The facility planning includes two parts. First is your facility or plant location. Second part is your facility layout. In earlier session, we have covered facility location. So today's session is devoted for the facility layout. Basically, it is an area where the facilities like equipment, your department, your different sections, etc., how they be adjusted or how they are placed inside a plant or in a workplace. Now, why it is so difficult and why we have to take a particular or a important precaution for this activity? The first thing is it is a one-time activity. If you make a theater, it is not going to change the activity. If you develop a airport, the activities or the facilities are not going to change. Similarly, your school, your university, the facilities you are keeping in a different place, they are not going to change in the difficulty. And if you have arranged it, it is very difficult to rearrange it. Similarly, it involves a long-term vision because dislocation should be avoided. Wrong arrangement leads to more travel time, causing more work in process material handling. Main objective of layout. What should be the objective of the layout? First, quality of the product. When we talk about the quality of the product, it is not directly linked with the layout, but if the layout is appropriate, layout is effective, then we will be able to produce a good quality product. Our defects will be minimized, our rework can be minimized. Second is maximum utilization of space, labor and machine. Our objective is to use a single inch of the space which has been provided to us to place the facility. Our facility should be arranged in such a way we can use the maximum utilization of the labor. We should be able to use machine. Third one is lower scrap and the wastages. We have to minimize the wastage. If we keep the inventory if we keep the facilities in a proper way, our scrap can be at a lower side. We can minimize the waste. Minimum production delays. You will appreciate that if the workstations are kept in a proper way, the moment of material or product from one station to another station is proper, then the total time for the production can be minimized. Similarly, if we want to have the expansion, there should be some space so that in coming future, if there is a need of expansion, we should be able to expand our facilities. Avoidance of unnecessary changes. That should be the one of the main objective of any facility layout decision. Whatever we are making today, we should keep in mind that it is going to have a long-term effect and we should avoid an unnecessary change. Proper production control. If you have a visibility of the shop floor, you can better control your production. Similarly, you should keep the effort to minimize the wasteful efforts. For example, the searching of a tool or searching of a different types of accessories which are required for the production, and the speeding of the production should be the main objective. Another important is a safety, and under safety we have a accident, because if there is not a effective or free movement across the shop floor, there are chances of accident. Similarly, there should be arrangement of proper lighting, there should be ventilation area, air circulation should be proper. Then we should also concentrate in reducing the material handling cost. You will find if you visit a factory that there are instances where the distance between two successive or sequential workstation are very far away. Means one station is away from the second station and there is a time involved in the material handling, so there is a cost involved in the material handling. Similarly, easy supervision and the safety of equipment and the personnel, that means the material handling across the your shop floor should be such that they should not harm the equipment, they should not harm the personnel. Now, if we can divide the whole objectives into 4 categories. First is objective related to material. Second is objectives related to workplace. Third one is performance related objectives, and the fourth one is objective related to flexibility. Now we will study in a detail. For example, if we take the objective related to material, then our topmost objective should be minimization of material handling or less amount of material handling in the shop floor. Second is minimum transportation cost. When we are talking about the transportation, it means the transportation between two workstations. Third one is less waiting time for in-process inventory. For our learners, I would like to explain what is in-process inventory. Any product which is in semi-finished stage and waiting for further operation to complete the product, that is called the in-process, or if you are keeping the inventory of semi-finished product, that is called the in-process inventory. The fourth one is the fast movement of material without the congestion or the bottlenecks. Congestion or bottleneck is means you have a certain types of a hurdles, so that they are restricting the easy movement of the material, easy movement of the personnel. Second object criteria or the category of the objective is the work related. Worker is working in a company or in an organization for more than 8 hours or at least for 8 hours. Our workplace should be designed in a such a way so that we should maintain a sequence of operation. If an operation needs 4 processes, then the whole process should be linked sequentially. So one by one, the product is coming to station 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Third, from the light and the ventilation point of view, we should give the safe working condition. If you visit any plastic industry or PVC fabrication industry, you will find there is a smell. So there should be need to have a exhaust, so that this type of gases should be out from the place where the worker is working. Minimum movement of the worker. We should plan our facility in such a way that there should not be excess movement of the worker. Then least chances of accident or fires. We should avoid such facilities, and we should arrange the facilities so the chances of accident or fire can be minimized. Another very important point is that utilization of vertical height. That means if we are saying and we are utilizing X direction and the Y direction, then our facility should also be there, and so that we can utilize the vertical height, so that we may keep almirah, we should keep using the height also. The performance related objectives. In that, we should focus on the maintenance part. We have the machine, definitely after certain period of time, machine needs maintenance. So our facilities should be arranged in such a way so that our plant maintenance should be simpler. Our productivity should be increased. We should be able to produce better quality product, able to reduce the cost of production, able to have the least setup cost and minimal changeover time. Setup cost means, suppose we are working on one operation and now we want a second operation. We want to change the setup. So our worker or our facilities should be planned in such a way so that the setup cost should be minimized. Now, exploitation of buffer capacity. If we are keeping a machine or some workstation extra as a buffer, we can utilize it. Similarly, nowadays we are allocating one machine to 2 workers. So there is a need for making the facility arrangement in such a way. Another objective is objective related to flexibility. As we have discussed that we should have the scope for the future expansion. Similarly, if there is a varied product mix, then our facility arrangement should be able to take up that product mix production style. Then consideration for alternate routing. In case of any change in the routing, we should be able to accommodate that change with the help of the flexibility that is there in our flexibility of facility arrangement. Now there are some principles of the facility layout. Again, we have kept in the 4 categories. The first one is least material handling cost, worker effectiveness, high productivity, and the group technology. We will study one by one. The first one is the least material handling. The topmost principle for designing a facility that to minimize the work material handling. For that, we should place the facility as per the sequence of operation. Second is the proper location for store and the packaging area. It has been observed that the worker time is utilized moving from store to the workstation and workstation to store. If we keep the location proper for store, then this movement can be minimized. Third one is a smooth and the continuous flow of material. If the material is required at workstation, the arrangement we should make from store or from warehouse or from go down to the workstation so that the flow is smooth. Then proper utilization of vertical and horizontal space in case of material movement. The example of vertical movement is your cranes or your hoist or your overhead cranes which travel across the shop floor by operating with the help of remote. Now, worker effectiveness. If our facility layout is efficient, then worker output can be enhanced because we are integrating the similar facilities, we are providing a sufficient space for worker and his movement, we are also providing the safe working condition, we are providing the light, proper light, ventilation and your toilets and other things in a proper distance so that the worker feels comfortable while working for 8 hours. We were discussing about the principle of high productivity. Productivity is the ratio of output and input. How we can get the output by utilizing the input. Now, in case of facility layout design, if we have a flexibility for expansion, if we have a flexibility of rerouting and also accommodating the varied product mix, then we will go for the higher productivity side. Similarly, we should also plan so that a multi-skilled worker can be used. We can give the proper utilization of resources and our effort should be the minimization of waste. Principle of group technology. Group technology is a concept or a philosophy where we group the similar parts or the parts having the same features in a one family. Similarly, this family, if they visit a particular machine or the group of machine, that we will say that it is a machine cell. So what we do in a group technology, we identify the similar parts, we identify the machine cell. So if the parts are coming, they directly go to the machine cell. So in this way, we are trying to minimize the inter-cell movement. Now, how you will design the plant layout? As we have studied that it is a one-time activity. Therefore, we should be more cautious while designing a plant layout. The topmost is the overall integration. Second thing which should keep in mind is the distance traveled. Third one is flow of process and the flow of worker, or in other words we can say the movement of worker. Fourth one is cubic space utilization. It is the most common word when we design the facility layout, that we have to use the each cubic feet or each cubic inch of the space. No space should be left unutilized. Fifth one is satisfaction and the safety. Satisfaction of worker, satisfaction of the management, similarly safety of all those working in that environment. And the last one is the flexibility, that how much flexibility we should give. In the overall integration, we deals with the integration of man, material and machinery. Here we will also include the information or the communication between top to bottom management and the bottom to top communication. Then minimum distance. Under that, we should try to have the movement at the lowest level, whether it is a movement of man, whether it is a flow of material. We should try that minimum distance should be traveled. Flow of process, flow of material, all these should be taken into account for designing the facility layout, because in case of certain job shops we have a final assembly line, so there should be easy movement of the material, there should be easy movement of different types of tools, so that in the assembly there should not be any problem. Fourth one is the cubic space utilization. As we told that horizontal and the vertical space must be utilized optimally. Satisfaction means satisfaction of worker, means if we are visiting as a worker in the shop floor, I should find satisfaction while working on a machine. That means our store should be at our minimum distance. And another important thing, that the worker should feel safe in that environment. That is the most important part. Another one is the flexibility. That flexibility in many terms we can try to put in the case of the arrangement which we are making for the organization. Now there are different types of facility layout. Till now we have studied what are the different principles of the facility layout, what are the design factors. Now we will come to the types of facility layout. Normally the facility layout nowadays are the combination of the different facilities, but the main categories are the product or the line layout, process or functional layout, fixed position layout, and the fourth one is cellular or group technology layout. So we will go one by one. Here I will just explain you the abbreviation I have put as a L. L means the lathe machine, M is the milling machine, and D is the drilling machine, and G is the grinding machine. Now in the product layout or in the line layout, what we do, we keep the machine according to the operation required on a job or on a product. For example, if certain operation is required on a lathe, that part will go on a lathe machine, then milling machine, then another lathe machine, then drilling machine, and the final the grinding machine, and the product A is ready. Similarly for product B, first they will go on milling machine, then drilling and grinding, and the product is ready. So this is the main product layout. Now in that various facilities, such like machines, equipment, workforce are located as per the sequence of operation on the part. It is preferred, means product layout is preferred when the production is continuous, part variety is less, volume is high, and the part demand is stable. Now, what are the advantage of product layout? There will be less work in process inventory because we are sequencing the machine as per the operation. Second, it requires less space for the same volume of production as compared to other layout or as compared to process layout. Automation is easy and quite effective when we are talking about material handling. There are some other advantages also, just like throughput time is less as compared to the process layout. Throughput time means product cycle time, the time in which we can produce the product. Production planning and control is simple and we can coordinate in a better way for different activities. Another important thing, since a certain operation is fixed on each machine, we require less skilled level of worker because the most of the machine are general purpose machine and their worker skill level is required is very less. There is a smooth and the continuous flow of material. There are some advantages. Definitely we have some limitations of the product layout. The most important point is it is very difficult to change if there is a change in the product design. We cannot go for the variety of product because we have a sequence of machine which is already fixed in the organization. Now, if there is a breakdown, the whole sequence will be disturbed and we have to stop the process for making the product. We have to go for a high capital investment, as you have seen in one of the example. For the same operation we need the lathe machine at two places. So we cannot make the product come to again to the first location. We have to arrange a second lathe because there is a sequence of operation. Another thing, the flexibility is limited. If we want to increase the production capacity, it is a constraint for ourselves. We cannot increase the flexibility. Now, where this is suitable, the product layout. In the assembly line, just like in automobile factory, if we have an assembly line, assembly of the engine, then all the workstations are linked with, and each workstation assigned a certain type of a work, adding two screw or certain parts. So such type of assembly line is an example of product layout. Similarly, if there is a low variety and high volume production system, the production layout is more useful. For a standardized product whose future demand is stable, then we will go for the product layout. Now we will come to the process layout. In the product layout, machines are arranged as per the sequence of operation, while in case of process layout, we are keeping all the machine in one cell. You will see that the lathe machine are kept at one place, drilling machine are kept in another place. Similarly, machine and other machines are kept in a separate part. Means if we are calling as a lathe cell, so all the lathe machine will be kept in that cell. Now you just see we have a two products and it is going on lathe machine cell, then going to drilling machine, then for assembly. Similarly, after going to the lathe machine, it will go to milling, then finally it is coming to for the assembly. So this is a process layout. The characteristics of the process layout, it is called as a functional layout, where the similar machines are kept in a one place. So all the functions required for lathe will be done in the lathe machine cell. All the functions required related to machine milling operation will be done in the machine cell. For job production and the non-repetitive type of manufacturing environment, such type of layout is advantageous. Now, what are the advantage of process layout? Here, there is a low investment. Various degree of machine utilization can be performed because machine is not dedicated to a single product. Greater flexibility, we can increase or we can expand our facility because we have a separate space in our each cell. Different product design and different production volume can be easily adopted. Therefore, there is a high product variety flexibility we can adopt. Now, another advantage is there is a lower head cost, easy maintenance of machine, because the breakdown of one machine will not halt the whole production process, easy operation, better teamwork. There are certain disadvantages of each layout. There are limitations, just like in case of process layout, there is a high degree of material handling. You are saying or you are observing that the product or the job is going from lathe machine cell to milling machine cell. So there is a high degree of material movement. There is a large work in process inventory, because if one job is on lathe machine and another job is coming, they have to wait for their turn. Labor cost is high because here we need a higher level of worker skill. Total cycle time is high because there is also involvement of work in process inventory. More waiting time is required, more material flow is there in case of process layout. The supervision is not easy because of the complexity involved in the process layout. So therefore the supervision also involved the costly affair. Another 2 points are there. If we have a defects in the jobs or the product, in case of process layout, it is very difficult to find out the traces or the causes of the defect. Similarly, the production planning and control is little bit difficult as compared to the product layout. Where this type of process layout is suitable, where we have a non-standardized type of product or low volume and high variety, frequent change in the product design, or we can say the job shop. Your fixed position layout, basically you will just see that in the middle we have a shipbuilding yard. On the left hand side we have a resources, and on the right hand side we have the final product, and at the bottom we have a inputs just like labor, tool and equipment. What are the characteristics? If we just see the characteristics, then the topmost characteristic is that our product is very bulky, we cannot move it. So we will keep the product as a fixed. All the resources are brought to the fixed location, and it is very useful when the product is very big or heavy, just like making a flyover, making a ship, or making a your aeroplane or aircraft. Now, what are the advantages? It is very easy for the product which are very difficult to move. So we will keep at one location and we bring all the resources near. So there is a flexibility also in that. We can change the design, we can change the sequence of operation, labor availability, all these exist in such type of fixed layout. Similarly, it is a quite cost effective because we are all are involved in processing a similar type of jobs. It is suited for a large project just like construction work or, as I told you, the shipbuilding. Now, what are the limitations of this type of a fixed position layout? High capital investment definitely will be there, and we need a huge space for making this fixed position layout. We need a careful planning, and there is always chances of delay and the conflict in case of fixed position layout. Now the examples are just like shipbuilding, aircraft assembly, wagon building, flyover or building. These are the example of the fixed layout. Another is your cellular or group technology. According to the group technology philosophy or the cellular manufacturing philosophy, we make a family of the parts which have the similar characteristics, and since they are visiting a certain type of machines, so we'll make a machine cell for a particular part family. If you see this figure, we have on the left hand side we have a store, on the right hand side we have a transportation or a store for shipping or transportation or the final dispatch. At the top we have a cell 1, in the middle we have a cell 2, in the bottom we have a cell 3, and different machines are kept in different cell, and product according to their feature, according to their characteristics will be allocated to each cell. That means if there is a product A and allocated to machine cell 1, this product will never move to cell 2 or cell 3. Similarly, the product in the cell 2 or cell 3 will not move to the cell 1. Now, what are the characteristics? As I told, the similar parts which are similarity in the design, similarity in the manufacturing operation, they will be grouped in the one family. And the requirement, according to the requirement, we make a machine cell, and so that intercell movement can be minimized. Now, what are the advantages of the cellular? We will have the shorter throughput time or the completion time. We have a low stock. We can provide better customer service because our service level is at a higher side. Since we can control the coordination, we can produce the better quality with minimization of rework. Lower material handling cost. Since each part family is dedicated to each machine cell, there is a lower or there is a less material handling. We have a job satisfaction, we have a easy supervision. Similarly, we have a flexibility to accommodate fluctuation. The limitation is initial planning. There is an involvement of high cost, and if there is a change, it is very difficult to change the group technology or the cellular layout. Even if we are focusing on a certain family, and if non-standardized product come, it is very difficult to go for a new product or a non-standardized product. Now, where it is suitable, when we have a particular type of parts are coming and they require the operation on a certain family or the certain cell of a machine, then the cellular layout is more suitable. Basically, many large and the medium-sized manufacturing firms have experienced the quality improvement. Here we have made a comparison for the different layout, just like fixed, product, cellular, and the process. Here I have given the different criteria, just like material handling, your arrangement of facilities or the machines, and we have described that how each one is compared. Here we have not given the advantage or disadvantage, only we have focused on the characteristics of the each layout. Till now we have studied about the facility layout. What are the principles of layout and what are the factors which we should consider while designing a facility layout. We have also studied different types of layout, just like product layout, process layout, fixed layout, cellular layout. All types of layout we have studied in this session. In the coming session, we will cover the combination layout, also the different aspects of layout, and what is the material handling and what are the different equipments are involved in the material handling. That we will cover in the next session. Thank you.